Now that we've finished with what an introduction looks like, we can see how to write the body paragraph, or the first style of body paragraph, which is support for your opinion. You'll typically write 2 body paragraphs that include this support. Again, your ideas will have to include reasons and details to show that they are valid. When you think about the difference between reasons and details, you can think about how reasons can be theory, right? They could be somebody's beliefs, they could be ideas. They're kind of overarching, larger concepts. Details are going to be things like examples, events, and facts that will support these reasons. So if we look at our first body paragraph in this essay, we can see that how the author supported their ideas. First sentence says, supporters of gap year programs argue that one of the greatest factors speaking in favor of taking a gap year is that by doing so, a student learns responsibility and how to organize their life to a greater extent. So that's going to be our topic sentence. And you can see that we're using language to show that this is a support paragraph, right? We have the word supporters, right? They argue that one of the greatest factors speaking in favor of, right? It's showing that this person believes that this idea is a positive idea for their argument. Then it goes on. Whatever type of trip is decided upon, it is essential that the student take control in planning the gap year, Baker 2013, right? Excuse me. So with that, we are showing our first main idea, supporting idea. And that's that students take control in planning the gap year. And so we're talking about responsibility in this paragraph. Now we have students are taking control. It also happens to be our citation. Okay? This requirement of the student to research places and programs, as well as plan for their year financially, is a significant task, and most finish with a greater sense of responsibility for their own actions, both programmatically and fiscally. And here we see that connection, right? So students are taking control, but how does that provide them with responsibility? And here the author connects it for us and say they finish with greater sense of responsibility because all of that time to research where they're going, the programs that they'll take, planning financially is a big task. So that connection is clear by the author. Continues, the director of the Center for Interim Programs, no date, believes that increased responsibility for individual choices is one of the most powerful aspects of the gap year. Okay, and so here we have again another idea going back to responsibility. Okay, it's coming from a source. He advocates that the process of choosing it, owning it, and having new freedom for individual decisions in the world allows teens to step up to responsibility. They are forced to plan for themselves as well as plan financially once they leave home. Many students go on to apply those lessons to the lives as university students when they return from their gap year. And here again, we see that connection, right? So we're talking about increased responsibility for their own choices being the powerful part of the gap year, and it's explained to us, right? So you're forced to plan for yourself, right? Not only what you're going to do every day, but financially. And then when you come back to the university, most students are able to apply that. Okay, so that connection is very important to see why advocates believe that the gap year is a beneficial thing. We end with our concluding sentence, which will parallel our introduction sentence to the paragraph, but won't repeat exactly word for word, right? This increased responsibility follows them throughout life and makes taking some time off to reflect and regain the desire to study very important in today's society. And you'll notice here that paragraph 2 will talk more about what this desire to study is, and so it acts more of a transition for the reader in giving them a little tidbit of information that they're going to see in the following paragraph. So that's the basic construction of a body. We really want to make sure that we're coming in with reasons that are going to look more like theory, ideas, right? And then connecting those reasons using details, which will be, better explanations, facts, things like that.